Anyways, oh no, I lost my screen. Though I remember who number two is.
Scheif.
Number two is Mark Scheifele. 158 games with
Number
Barrie.
two?
80. Yeah, we're on two, aren't we?
What? I had him
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah, your list was the wrong one. Remember? We no. He was it was 1 and 2. It was myself and
It
Justin
was
had him
close.
at
It was
it was
close.
it was like 1 point or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was, or two, I guess. I can't remember. Here we go with math. Anyways, Mark Scheifele easily could be the number one. I mean, it really, it just depends on what you're looking at, what factors you consider. And I mean, honestly, if anyone came up to me and said Mark Scheifele is the number one, I'd say, yeah, you know what, you might be right. He's not my number one, and he's not our list number one. He is Ryan's list number one, but I mean, he's not the wrong answer. I mean, I can't, like, he was just insane to watch in Barrie. I mean, 84 goals, 133 assists, 217 points in 158 games. Got drafted seventh overall in 2011 by the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, arguably the best Barrie Colt of all time, arguably the best Barrie Colt in the NHL of all time. I mean, you could argue with me on both of those cases, and even if my opinion was different, I'd say, you know what, you could be right. So, I mean, he's just ridiculous. He just surpassed the 400 point mark in the NHL. He's got 408 points total. He's played 484 games. 484 games and he's over 400 points. I mean, he's just ridiculous. We did a highlight video there just after he surpassed 400 points. And like it was so hard to do because the guy had so many highlights that I'm like, I can't make this video like the podcast. This can't be 2 hours long. Like I need to figure this out and narrow it down in a way that, you know, it's watchable. And I mean, he's just ridiculous. I remember when like he'd like leave the team every now and then, and the team just looked lost. It's like they were just looking. They're like, okay, where's Scheifele? We need to get Scheifele the puck. He's in Winnipeg right now, guys. No, and that just nothing. You know, and then he'd be back, and he was just elite. I mean, Mark Scheifele was insane. Mark Scheifele is insane. He is just an outstanding hockey player, and I mean,
yeah, I mean, in 2013 they almost won the title. Yeah, except for really kind of unfortunate timing to that injury, but yeah. Anyways,
that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
unfortunately, it sucks, and it sucked. It sucks so bad.
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't following like as that was probably the year like I didn't follow as close. Do you remember like what was the story with that injury? Like, wasn't it like the end or whatever? It's like he didn't play. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember all the stuff that was like surrounding it.
This is why we need Justin on here, but
right.
He got hurt in the finals, and that was really
that was literally right when I just moved to Barrie.
Yeah, so like,
and it was literally like the year before I ended up launching the website. So nice. He was like when I moved here and stuff. Like I mean, I was coming to games even before I actually lived here. But you know, like oh my goodness, like
I shouldn't even have brought it up. Like, it sounds like we don't know anything. Like
I feel like
who are the Barrie Colts?
He probably he's probably the reason I ended up moving to Barrie. I'm like, if I live in Barrie, I could watch this guy play hockey more. And that's pretty much how that went down, I'm guessing. No, it wasn't exactly. There was other circumstances, but
I was pretty rattled after 2010. Like I took that loss really hard. I actually moved away for a few years. So I mean, I kept up with the team during that time and watched when I visited home or whatever. Because I was Barrie born and raised, obviously, but Yeah, during that time I wasn't around as much for Scheif, unfortunately, but yeah, he got hurt in the finals, and yeah, it was really unfortunate. Um, Justin, we need you on here. This is why you need to be on our podcast. But anyways,
Ryan
um,
has the memory of a goldfish,
yeah, he told
and
me the story like 50 times. Yeah, it was basically like the Colts ended up with a whole bunch of suspensions, which killed them. And Scheifele got hurt, and it was like the excuse was that the injury had to do with clean ice because the flood just happening. But that was just total like
Mhm.
bananas because he was, I don't know. Anyways, that's part of our qualms as Colts fans. But anyways, kind of a sore loss in 2013. A lot of Colts fans are still sour about all that, and the suspensions, and this being fair, that being fair. But anyways, Scheif was literally to me the best player ever from what I saw, and there's some good stuff online. If you look up OHL finals, you can find some pretty good video of him. I think he got 4 goals in a period in the playoffs, and the BMC was just rocking.
I
I
know,
mean,
I
just
know.
absolutely rocking. Like uh, Justin says he's never heard it that loud. I wasn't there because I was away, like I said, but man, that
It was
was.
nuts. It was
If you look at the
nuts.
videos,
Yeah.
like it's like,
Well, and when I did that one, like the first time I did a post kind of saying Coles fans need to make more noise. This is back when Blender was captain. I used those videos as examples. I'm like, guys, like we've literally done this before, and it wasn't even that long ago that we did this. Like, why are we only, cheering when they're giving out T-shirts for
or
a paint
chips.
company? Or chips. Man, that was the craziest I've
Free
ever seen the
chips.
crowd, man.
They went
Oh
wild.
my
They went
goodness.
absolutely bananas. It's
It was
crazy.
craziness. Right? And then the power play came and it was like,
Anyways, Scheifele had magic in his. Yeah. I almost missed that. Scheifele had magic in his stick. I remember my buddy got one of Scheifele's twigs, and we were playing pickup, and I think it was like 15 minutes of the game. He'd sniped like 4 or 5 goals, and I was like, "What is going on with you?" He's a good hockey player, but he looked like he should have been in the show. And we were younger. Well, not that young, but it was a little bit ago. And
I was like in
yeah,
my mid 20s.
well, we were at 30, so it's not very young. But yeah, he early 30s. He's like, oh, it's Shife's twig. I guess he like was buddies with the trainer and had one of Shife's twigs. So yeah, yeah. Anyways, so we good with Shife? We're gonna go to number
Oh
one.
yeah.
You got
Well, and you get the honor of saying number one, even though you didn't select him as number one. So
yeah,
have
that's
fun.
true. Eh? So yeah, number one Colt of all time. We got Kevin LeBanc. Some people don't like this because he's American, but that's who we
Well,
picked.
that was my theory. I can't. I mean, yeah, I
People
don't
don't
know.
like it
It's
when I tell them, but I don't care. He was amazing. Straight to the bank. Number one. War number 12 in Barrie. He was a killer. 269 points in 198 games. Not bad for a sixth round pick by San Jose. He just signed that $1 million deal, which I'm not too sure about because he should have got a little more. But anyways,
he
gave
said
them
that he wanted to help them, and
the
he
type
feels
of
like he'll get it later. You don't
it's
do
the type
that, but whatever.
it's the type of guy he is though. Like
Totally.
you could tell he was a true team guy, and um, I'd say the best playmaker in Colts history.
I
Uh,
agree.
incredible passes. It's like he had eyes in the back of his head. Just a completely dominant player, especially in that overage year. We were really fortunate to get him back because he could have been playing AHL at a high level that year. But it's one of those things where,
Luckily, the San Jose organization had no idea what they were doing. That
yeah,
really benefited us.
because of that, we've got a bit greedy because a lot of us wanted Magwood back, even though he was like in camp. It was obvious that he was a man pro, but a man pro. Anyways, he was he'd outgrown the league, so yeah. Oh, massive impression on our contributors, obviously. Um, and it was a true pleasure to watch him play in Barrie and give him the number one spot of all time. So in the NHL, he's got 135 points in 251 games and 14 points in 30 playoff games, which is not bad. They had a pretty good run last year in the playoffs. 20 playoff games. He got 9 points.
He got some big goals too. Like
Yeah.
he scores goals at like timely times, and like he's honestly, and I think it was an episode of Quick Cuts I did with Jeff, and we were discussing players that like when however like much time surpasses who could end up being like the best Colt to move on into the NHL. And while like in it I'd said like I mean as right now it's Scheifele. But I like I said I'm like LeBanc, I mean depending on how things continue to develop for him, I mean I wouldn't rule him out as a possible guy because he's a really talented player. And like you said, like his playmaking was just insane. Like he could rack up so many assist points. I mean, even in Barrie, he's second most assists all time. Little and Tkachuk are above him with one assist, but I mean, Little played 50 more games than him. And I mean, we're talking about a guy who put up ridiculous number, and Tkachuk as well. It was like about 40 more games, and he only had one more assist than him. You know, like just disgusting numbers. Like he was so great to watch, and I mean, like I didn't even really well, like I said before, like I mean, like Scheifele, I feel could be in the number one spot, and I wouldn't argue it.